Hey, good afternoon. It is September 30th, 2022. Going to be taking out this one owner 1991 Mercedes-Benz 420SEL. Car was purchased new at Ray Catena Mercedes-Benz in Edison, New Jersey in 91. It was leased. Corporate lease. The car was leased by a company that the individual worked for. At the end of the lease, he wound up purchasing the car. So it is a one-owner car from new. It's only had 2 drivers in its lifetime, the gentleman and his wife. The car has presently 14,944 miles. Car is finished in Cabernet Red Metallic over cream leather. It is in immaculate condition. The interior is absolutely amazing, breathtaking actually. Car runs and drives fantastic. I just got this car a couple of days ago, and first thing we did, first item that we had to do on this car was it needed new tires. The car was still wearing its original Continental tires with 1990 date codes. They were pretty severely dry rotted. Why the original owner never changed the tires, I don't know. He said he literally used the car only for special occasion use, and occasionally on a weekend he would take the car out for short drives, go out to lunch, maybe dinner every once in a while with the car. But it was always a secondary use vehicle. And oh, I got the door open. I'm going to close that door in a moment. Hear that wind noise, that's because I didn't close the front passenger door all the way. But it was a secondary use only car. So we put brand new hand-cut tires on all 4 corners, and as you can see, the car tracks beautifully down the road. We didn't drive the car at all until we had the tires changed on it. So once we stop, I'll close that door so that you don't hear that wind noise. Everything works on the car as intended. Power windows, sunroof. AC. Stereo works, however, we did come across a problem with the stereo, and we're most likely going to wind up having to send the stereo out to Becker Auto Sound. Keep blowing the amp number, fuse number 2 when we turn the radio on. So if it's not something that's just an electrical problem, and if it's related to the radio, we'll have that repaired by our good friends over at Becker Auto Sound. We'll get the radio out there. So presently, although the radio works, we can't demonstrate it because once we turn it on, it seems to blow the second fuse. But that will all be sorted out by the time we have the car ready for auction. As you can see, the car idles really smooth, right where it should be. Smooth running and driving car. No vibrations in the cabin, no collapsed motor mounts or transmission mount. The car is getting serviced this week, and although it runs and drives beautifully, and the fluids have been refreshed in the last year, you can see the brake fluid is fresh. The oil was changed in the last year. We're going to go through all the fluids and filters, and we're going to do a transmission service. I'm going to change the engine belts. They look like they were changed at some point. I don't believe they're the original engine belts, but I don't know how old they are. So this car, when it comes up for auction, will have all new belts, all new fluids and filters. It's going to have a transmission service. I'm on the fence about whether or not we're going to do a tune-up. We're definitely going to do valve cover gaskets. Although there is no sign of oil leaking, the engine is really clean. The car has been parked for 2 days in the same spot. There's no no drips of oil underneath the car, but just as a preventative thing, I ordered valve cover gaskets. We're going to do them. I'm also on the fence. I may do new fuel pumps because they are the original fuel pumps. As you can see, I mean, the car runs and drives fantastic. Acceleration is great. Transmission shifts very smooth. I still may change the fuel pumps just because they are the original fuel pumps in the car. As you can see, there's no issues with the acceleration. The car really drives beautifully. Suspension is nice and tight. Tracks beautifully down the road. Just a really nice find. Very, very thankful to be able to buy this car. I bought it from the original owner, and when I first went out to look at the car, I knew immediately I wanted to buy it. And the owner had second thoughts about selling it. Called me the next morning and he said, yeah, you know what, I've had the car since new. We don't really use it at all anymore. I'd like to see it go to a new home, and we came to an agreement, and that's how I came about buying this beautiful museum quality car. Paint on the car is 90% all original. The owner of the car said he never had anything painted on the car, but with the paint meter readings, we were able to determine that we believe that the hood of the car was repainted at some point in its life. May have been done by the original selling dealership. The car may have been scratched at the dealership. You just don't know. Maybe it even got scratched at the port. But the paint meter readings on the car are all coming in right around between 4 and 5, with the exception of the hood, which comes up around 7.5, 8. Which leads me to believe that the hood was definitely repainted at some point in its life. Cosmetically, it's as good as it gets. Engine bay is nice and clean. It's beautiful underneath, very clean undercarriage. The wheels on this car are as close to perfect as I've ever seen, and they have not been refinished. They original silver paint. There is no curb rash on any of the wheels. No fading of the paint in the wheels. They're beautiful. They're literally like a new old stock set of Gullah-Deckel wheels. Really not too much to say. I mean, the car shows beautifully. It's almost all original paint. The bright work is beautiful. The wood is gorgeous. Gauge needles are bright orange. The whole gauge cluster is immaculate. The top of the dash pad has absolutely no cracks. The interior literally looks and smells like it's brand new. And it even has the original floor mats, which are still in really pristine condition. Everything on the interior of the car is almost perfect, with the exception of the center console wood has a few small micro cracks in the Zebrano wood. And I was fortunate that I have access to a perfectly refinished piece of Zebrano wood for the center console. Unfortunately, I had to order it from overseas, so I'm expecting it to arrive at some point in the next week or two, and I will install the brand new refinished Zebrano wood, because this car really it's as close to perfection as possible, and having those 2 or 3 really small cracks in the wood, in the clear of the wood, just it bothers me, because the outside of that, the interior of this car is like literally like showroom new. The paint on this car is gorgeous. Being an all original paint car, I would say it's stunning. It has a high gloss. It does have a few small touch-ups, a few scratches that were touched up. There's no dings that I could find on the exterior, but there are a few small touch-ups, and in my walk-around video I'll go over, you know, anything that I see as far as flaws on the exterior. Car is wearing its all original glass, which is all crystal clear, which is nice. The windshield is beautiful. All the glass is gorgeous. Car comes with the original books, 3 original keys. It does not have the window sticker. In fact, the owner didn't even know what a window sticker was. I will say that my son went through this car, detailed the interior. Took very little. I think basically wiped down the leather and ran a vacuum through the interior. But he mentioned to me that on the rear passenger window there was still a couple of small pieces of tape, which is where the original window sticker was hanging on the car, and there was still a couple little pieces of Scotch tape on the rear window from the original window sticker, which is really kind of cool. Car's got the original Continental spare tire. Is it a Continental? Maybe, I believe a Continental. Yes, I'm confusing 2 cars. I also had another car with original tires that had Uniroyals, but this has the original Continental spare. It's never been down. The original tools are still sealed in the plastic bag. The trunk is absolutely pristine. The owner of the car told me that the rear seat he doesn't think was ever used. He said this car was basically his car. He said over the first 4 years he put about 4,500 miles on the car, and then after that, over the next 20-something odd years, he said the car was really only driven on nice days, taken out on special occasions, and when it wasn't in use, it was always in the garage. He said most of the people in his neighborhood didn't even know that he owned this car. That's how infrequently it was used. So you get a pretty good feel of how the car runs and drives. Very nice car. This is the final year of the W126. In my opinion, and an opinion that is shared with many Mercedes-Benz enthusiasts, the 126 car is probably the best S-Class ever built. It does everything well. It performs well. Maximum amount of comfort. I mean, the seats, they go back a country mile. I mean, you could be a center in the NBA and be 7 foot tall and be comfortable in this car. It's got a huge back seat with lots of leg room. It's got an enormous trunk. Being a late model, a 91 model. You have both front and passenger side airbags. It's got a great sound system, the Becker sound system. Extremely comfortable car, a car that can be driven today as a daily driver. An example like this, it's almost too nice to make it into a daily driver. You know, at 14,000, now 951 miles. My guess is I'm probably going to bring it over 15,000 miles because I have the car. I'm taking it to my house now, bringing it to my mechanic. He's going to do all the work that I described earlier in the video, and he's going to go over and look for anything else that the car may need. Obviously, I don't think it's going to need anything. The car was maintained by an independent mechanic in Princeton, New Jersey, where the original owner lived, and I met with the mechanic, and he told me that the car was serviced very frequently, had the fluids changed on a regular basis. So as you can see, I'm gonna accelerate a little bit here. We're at about 50 miles an hour. You can see the car tracks beautifully. No play in the steering. The brakes are excellent. Nice quiet cabin. Just a great driving car. Guess I'll just wrap this up by saying it's a 91, last year of the model, finished in Cabernet Red Metallic over cream leather, 14,952 miles from new, pristine interior, almost all original paint, completely original unmodified car. I would describe it as close to showroom condition as you're going to find. All original. And I will be putting this car up for auction on Bring a Trailer. It'll be a 7-day auction. It will be offered without a reserve. And what does that mean? That means on the 7th day, whoever the highest bidder is on this car will be the new owner. They'll be very pleased with their purchase. It's an extremely nice car, and runs and drives as nice as it looks. Just a really, really fine example of a 126. The last of the 126 bodied cars. Got a very powerful V8 motor. I'm a huge fan of the 420SEL. This is definitely one of the nicest ones I've ever seen, and I've owned a lot of them over the years. This is a good one. This is a car that someone's going to be proud to own. During the week of that auction, like with all my auctions, prospective buyers are welcome to come out and see the car. Weather permitting, if it's a nice day, you can be able to take it out for a short test drive. It's not going to disappoint anyone. It's everything I describe it to be. It's a very, very nice car. Very hard to find survivor in this condition. It's been unmolested. One owner from new, no reserve, high bidder wins, and that's about it. That's my drive video. It's September 30th, 2022. Coming up for auction on Bring a Trailer. No reserve. So just want to wish everyone the best of luck, and that's my 91 420SEL.